Hello everybody, hope you had a lovely day, and today we're going to try a new segment on the channel where I'm going to react on metal songs based on a producer's point of view. So, for those of you who don't know, producers usually look at songs in a different way, where we tend to overanalyze sometimes artistic choices and mixes that the artists use in their songs and try to really figure out what exactly they did there. And today we're going to start our first video with 6 Feet Under Mr. Blood and Guts. It's a very weird song name, and I'm pretty sure the song is going to be fun as well. I used to listen to 6 Feet Under when I was really young, about 14, 15, and back in the days when I was just getting used to metal, this band kind of fit right in. 6 Feet Under is a very typical death metal band. They have low riffs, distorted growls, and very simple melodies that kind of contribute to their whole I'm dark and evil aesthetics. And Chris, the main singer, had some controversy with his vocal approaches and the way he sings in the band, and also approaches fans and talk with them. And I'm not gonna say anything bad against him. He's 60 years old right now, and at these ages, as a touring musician, I know how fucking hard this is. And given the fact that he's still touring and still making songs with this growly voice is pretty impressive. I haven't listened to many 6 Feet Under music after the first and second album, just because I think other death metal bands are doing a bit better job, in my personal opinion. I tend to like the music a bit more epic, and they go on the more simplistic side of production, which is okay for most people. So what we're gonna do, I'm going to listen to the song, react to it, and then analyze some of the production decisions I've noticed. And finally, my personal verdict, which is my own personal opinion, and it's absolutely okay if you think otherwise. We all have different opinions, and that's absolutely fine. So, without further ado, let's start with 6 Feet Under, Mr. Blood and Guts.
Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no pulse. Mr. Blood and Guts, Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no soul. Mr. Blood and Guts, murdering scream from the back row. Eruptions in red from someone you know. Before a night of fun at the picture show, now they're lying dead in blood from head to toe. Running as they're living, leaving as they're dead. Arms are filled with blood, seats are filled with heads.
You can hear some cracks in his voice, and that's usually something that comes with age. The stamina and the quality of your voice usually declines the older you get. And from what I remember from older 6 Feet Under songs, he used to have these kinds of problems with his voice from a relatively younger age. So the first and second album were amazing. He had absolutely a stunner voice where he could hold the growls for a really long and sustainable time. But then I remember in the third and fourth album, something started to decline, and he started having some weird shakes in his vocals. This is usually something that happens due to either a wrong breath control or something that is not really sitting well with the healing of the vocal cords after you abuse them for such a long time. They used to tour a lot, so you kind of felt it. But here, he seems to be a bit more stable, which I like. This is, you can definitely see that he kind of manages to control his voice at the age of 60, need I remind you. This is kind of amazing. But you still hear the cracks. And from a production point of view, it's kind of weird that they haven't recorded some of the parts when the voices are breaking. Just record it again. You know, it's not something that is very hard to do. You just go back a little bit in the track and press record again and try a new take. And I think from their approach, based on what they did and knowing them from previous albums, they usually like to keep the voices as raw as possible. Artistic choice, not my personal favorite way of recording, but some people like it. So far, it's a pretty fun song.
Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no pulse. Mr. Blood and Guts, Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no soul. Mr. Blood and Guts.
I just love these solo parts when they finish the solo and then continue with the raising of the dissonant notes. I'll just go back a little bit here so you can hear that. This is a very nice and effective way to give a bit more pressure and some sort of urgency in a song, where you usually take notes. I think sometimes it's in a quintet or quartet differences from one another, and then you just raise it up pentatonically or chromatically throughout the scale. And it gives a, like this kind of pressure or something building up, which can lead to a very, very nice euphoric kind of feeling when you're listening to it. So very, very nice choice.
Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no pulse. Mr. Blood and Guts, Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no soul. Mr. Blood and Guts, unwielding phantom, still to one husband, as you in his sights, his holy cognition, burning all your flesh. Trapping as he kills, you never getting light. There's over no more blue. Rising as a living, leaving as a dead. Also filled with blood, seats are filled with hands. Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no pulse. Mr. Blood and Guts, Mr. Blood and Guts, I have no soul. Mr. Blood and Guts.
All right, this is a very, very fun song. Pretty short, just under 3 minutes. And you can see that they had a lot of fun with it. This is, I think it's supposed to be like some sort of a comedic song. There's no like actual sophistication or anything like that behind them, which is absolutely fine. Some bands like to make some songs that are a bit more fun and on the light side sometimes. I'll listen to it just a couple more times and then get back to you with the notes about what I think with the production of the song. All right, I listened to the song a couple more times. Again, like I said, it's a fun song, and let's start from the beginning and see exactly how they approach the whole build-up of the song and what they thought process was. So they started with the riff, just throwing you inside without too much thinking. And in the verse, they used like a double tempo for each of the notes. But in the intro, they just started with a palm mute and a single one on each note. And because I assume they don't have 7 strings, and this is why they are playing with drop D, so they played this instead. Instead of going... This is an artistic choice that is basically limited based on what you have. And because they don't have 7 strings, from what I can assume, they played the 1, 2, 3, 4th notes on an octave higher instead of going lower. But theoretically, they can basically use the 7th string and just go down on this note. And it just gives it a bit more easy flow to go with. And then basically after 1 repetition, they started using open strings to give it a bit more preparation to get the viewer into the verse. Mix-wise, I love the guitars, I love the drums. They recorded live drums, obviously. They're not using samples, from what I can hear. And everything is... I mean, it's a very simple production. 6 Feet Under are known to not use synthesizers or multiple layers of what's not necessary. They keep it very, very simple. And for this band, it works. They're not going super heavy all the way in with epic productions. They tend to keep it very, very simple, which is basically what they've done throughout the years over the span of, I think, more than 13 albums. I'm not sure exactly how much they have, but a lot. So sometimes whenever a band is deciding to use this dun dun, these kind of stops, this is something that you can either use as an increased attention towards a specific part. So if you want to make like a point, if the lyrics were, for example, had like something with a harsh stop in them, this would make a bit more sense. Here they used it, from what I can hear, just because. And sometimes you have these types of playings that are not intentional, but rather just for the fun of it, which is something that you can choose to do or not. I personally like to use these more in order to make a point. So when I'm playing something, dun, 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 dun. So for example, the first line can go like rather simply, and then the second line can go something like, and in the second line you can say something like time to break the system. So for example, if you would go with time to break the system, so the system, this is where you can use this artistic stop in order to make a better emphasis of what you're trying to drive forward. And they used it here on the first part of this pre-chorus, from what I can gather. And it's kind of losing the momentum for what they tried to do here, or haven't tried, because it sounds to me like just some sort of an artistic choice for the sake of it. So this is the pre-chorus, and from what they used here, it's basically a it's like some sort of a scale up, but not exactly on the scale. So they use some kind of dissonance here and there in order to make it a bit more upbuilding. This is a nice choice. This is something that is very, very good to drive you towards a chorus. This is also something they used in the solo, and combined the guitar solo with the singing right after that, leading to the chorus in a very, very nice old-fashioned way. From what I can hear in the solo, they used an octaver, so you can hear it sounds like he's playing also an octave down. This is used usually in production to give the solo a bit more space. It's something very common, especially with old school solos. And you can hear it's an octave because both guitar parts are very, very tight together. And usually when a guitarist is playing two different parts, you can hear some differences between the higher octave and the lower one. And here it's just an basic octaver. It's an okay solo. It's not something out of the ordinary. It doesn't sound like it's elevating the song to a whole new level, but again, this is a very simple and fun song, so it's not supposed to be out of the ordinary and incredible. You wouldn't expect to hear something like Tornado of Souls in a song like that. This is like a fun song, and the solo is supposed to be simple. Whether necessary or not, I think it's nice to have a solo here. It's a small pace breaker from what we heard until now, and it's a nice addition. In terms of the ending of the song, what I find sometimes very difficult for bands to do, and also for keeping the retention of the listener, is to make the final chorus or the ending of the song much more interesting than what you heard until now, because this final chorus sounds exactly the same like the previous ones. And as someone who listens to songs, and even though this is not a long song, this is under 3 minutes, if you don't have any development that leads you into somewhere a bit more different and exciting, then you're just listening to the same thing again and again. In terms of like the creativity and something that should pull you in to listen to the song, because obviously every artist have the intention of the listener coming more and more to listen to the song again and again. And when you don't have something to look forward to in the song, it's kind of like, okay, it's a song, so I'm going to listen to it once or twice and then never listen to it again. And Obviously, they thought the song means something. They created a video clip for that. You can see they put a lot of production in here. They rented the space, paid actors. They had the hopes and thought behind the song. So not developing the final chorus into something a bit more interesting is kind of an odd artistic choice for me. I do like it, for example, when there's like a guitar solo playing in the last one, or they could do something a bit more interesting with the vocals. So let's talk about the vocal production here. Chris is known to just use his own pure vocals and not do anything special with it, which is kind of a shame because he has pretty good low voice. This is what 6 Feet Under is really famous for. Chris has a deep and aggressive low growls, which is awesome. And he didn't go high on this one. He didn't do his signature kind of thing that everybody don't like. It's good that he didn't use it here, because Chris, if you ever watch it, I appreciate you so much for what you do. You are an amazing singer, and this is just not your voice. You know, this whole high stuff. And I get what you're trying to do, but stick to your strength, man. You have such great low growls. Stick to them, work with them, embrace it, and go wild with them instead of going high. And I'm happy you didn't take it in this song, but I do wish they would add a bit more processing on the vocals. Like guitars have distortion on them, vocals should also have distortion on them. This is not a very out of norm thing for metal productions, and especially you can hear that a lot with Bloodbath, for example. This is a very, very good death metal band that I really love, and they put lots of emphasis on the vocal production and the melodies of the guitar. Everything is much more out there in your face than if you compare it to 6 Feet Under. So, final verdict. Remember, this is my personal opinion, and you are absolutely free to disagree with me on that. I think it's a fun song. It's something for a casual listener. It's not like a mind-changing or something that I would play to people who wants to listen to metal for the first time. It's something that I would play to people who've been listening to metal for a couple of years now, and hey, check the song out. It's kind of fun and interesting. It's something I would play in the background. It's not something I would come back to on a regular basis because it's not changing or adding anything new than anything we heard from 6 Feet Under. I do like the production of this song a bit more than previous albums. Everything sounds a bit more modern and polished, but it does miss a lot of the modern metal aggressiveness that you can hear in many other songs. And it's kind of a shame. And I know all the guys in this band are have been active since the early 90s. And you know, it's like when you listen to band evolve and change and you grow with them, this is what I love. This is how you can see that a band is actually changing. We're people, we're human, we are changing and evolving in time. And that's what I want to see with bands. I want to see new progressions. I want to see new changes. And this song didn't bring anything new, but it's fun. It's fun. I like it. So 6 Feet Under, Mr. Blood and Guts. If you have more songs recommendations that you want to see a metal producers reviewing, then let me know in the comments. And until then, stay heavy.